Yes, everybody, what's going on? My name's Stephen Howson. This is Casey. This is Stretford Paddock. And we're going to be looking at what Solskjaer's just said in the press conference, going over what he thinks the team news is going to be ahead of tomorrow's, I'm going to say, crucial game. And it is crucial, isn't it?
Well, it is crucial because if we don't get a point against Sheffield United, who have 1 point this season...
Casey.
Yeah.
1 point is not a good result tomorrow.
No, that was mean. If we don't get any sort of result against a team that's got 1 point in total across the entire of the season, we need 3 points, especially with everyone around us now dropping points, especially City.
Isn't it good?
Against West Brom.
Honestly, everyone's dropped points all around us. This is the perfect opportunity for United now to just go, mine. Pick up a handful of points before we play anyone meaty again. And United could find ourselves, we feasibly could find ourselves top of the table before the end of December.
We could do, but it's the classic United situation.
I mean, we're not.
I know, exactly. It's the classic
could.
United situation. It's like there is completely no pressure on you to get these results. You need to beat some easy teams, and if you do beat them, you'll go top of the table, or you'll go into a position that is favourable to you, and you'll be like,
no thanks.
Actually, let's give Ryan Brewster his first goal in a Sheffield United shirt.
I said on Twitter yesterday, I'm expecting a 1989 vintage AC Milan level performance out of Sheffield United tomorrow night. It's just not going to go our way, I don't think. There's not. I mean, for starters, it's mental that they're in this position after how good they were last year. And I don't think all of that's down to Dean Henderson. But I think some of it's down to Dean Henderson.
Oh, yeah.
And it was tight for them last year, wasn't it?
Well, it was tight because they didn't score many goals last year, but they didn't concede many. It was like 30. It was like, I think at one point I looked at it, it was like 30 and 30 on each, and they were kind of just getting the point off the one goal here and there they were getting. But this season, it's just like Ender Stevens and George Baldock down the wings were like prime Cafu and Roberto Carlos, which they will play like on Thursday night, but getting in all the assists and stuff. But this season, they've just been pinned back, and you've just seen like there is literally no creativity in that team. They stick up one of two strikers, whoever it is, I don't know. Ollie Burke's been playing up front. I didn't even know like Ollie Burke was about anymore. He was at West Brom and then kind of went to Leipzig. It was a really weird career, Ollie Burke.
Wasn't it Nottingham Forest to Leipzig?
It was Nottingham Forest to Leipzig to Celtic to West Brom to Sheffield United. That's the sort of career of Ollie Burke so far.
Mate, tell you what, he's got some agent, he has.
Not as good as Eric Choupo-Moting. Eric Choupo-Moting's agent is still going to go down as the greatest agent known to man.
Take you from Stoke to Paris to Bayern Munich. Fair play.
It is great.
That's some career mode shit.
And he's also took him out of Schalke, who are probably the worst team in Europe in a while. I don't think they've won a game. They haven't won a game since February.
So Sheffield United then.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, cool. Let's have a look at what Solskjaer said then in his press conference. We went with the title of Cavani out because, unfortunately, I've pre-recorded my preview, which is about to go out in a couple of hours, and I've based it on Cavani being in the 9 to give Marcus Rashford the rest. But here's what he said. He said, Edinson Cavani has done well in rehab, still have to make the decision if we should risk him. It's a little bit to risk him too early. I doubt he'll be available to pick tomorrow.
Pretty standard, isn't it? It's like the thing is that I don't.
He's flipped that sometimes though. He says that and plays people.
I know, yeah. He'll be like, can't play Cavani. He's not fit, or Cavani is fit.
Cavani walks out in the armband tomorrow.
Yeah. Here's Odion Gallo. Wait, what? Where's this come from? No, I think it's one of those games where it's like we should win this game. As we've just said, they've got 1 point this season, and it's a no pressure sort of just win the game. They haven't really shown anything this season, and we shouldn't have to be risking players. Like, really, realistically, we shouldn't have to play either Rashford or Cavani.
Right. But you can't currently play Marshall because he's coming back from injury. Mason's out of form. They're literally the only one, I mean, he's clearly not in form because he hasn't played since LASK away, I think, which is Igalo. We've got no forwards. You've got to pick someone either out of form or not fit to play. That's my worry about this period now with United is that nobody is fit and in form. Yeah. Nobody is fit and in form.
That's the thing. Like we've been playing, we're actually in a really good.
Not fit or not in form.
Exactly, we're in a really good position with our forward line either being injured or not scoring. Like we've got I can't remember. It's like I think we scored 7 goals with our forwards so far this season, and in the Premier League, and like Cavani's 2 of those were like in the same game, but we're doing quite well without it, and it is a similar situation to take an example from last season that's quite relevant to this. Sheffield United, we're playing all right, keeping the clean sheets. We're not really getting the goals. I mean, we're staying in and about it. Sheffield United for ages were in and about 4th or 5th. I mean, you look at it like some people have been calling for it on Twitter with how he's been playing in the youth team, but this could be the game that you might see for Gunnar Brillistri trying making the bench.
Yeah, maybe the bench.
Making the bench and then coming on and seeing what he can do. Daniel James might get a bit more of a run out. Like, I think Solskjaer said in the press conference, which we might flip up to the quote now, is that he's saying there's a lot of games between, I think he said, there's 15 times 24 between Sheffield United and Aston Villa. I think that's meant to say there's 15 days. Or he was trying to say however many hours, but he was like, actually, that's a bit too hard maths for me, a football coach or a Norwegian PE teacher. I don't know that much maths.
What are you going to do? Yeah.
Throw it on the 15 times 24. But, yeah, it's one of those games, you should be able to rest the players, but it's whether we will, just because of what it could mean if we win.
Not having Cavani, I thought that cost us. I thought that cost us at the weekend. And I thought having Cavani against Manchester City, I think we get the 3 points. And how good when them 3 points have looked right now, actually. We'd have been way beyond City. Obviously with a couple of games still to play and a couple of games in hand. There was another quote about the formation. Let's have a look at that one. So he says, twice we've played 3 at the back, beat PSG, lost to Leipzig, played a full game with a diamond and 2 half games with a diamond. That's another game. 4 out of 22 games isn't bad for consistency of a normal shape. Some details change. Yeah, I think this is in response to people saying, oh, he doesn't even know his best formation. Well, he evidently does, because the 4-2-3-1 is his go-to. And when he's gone to the 3 at the back, largely it's been a pretty good success. It's been a bit iffy this season, but, you know.
Yeah, well, this has been the media sort of criticism of Solskjaer, which they've been trying to use as on the reverse side to try and prop up Arteta's failings as a manager. It's like, oh, but Arteta has a clear style. He has a formation he always plays. He knows he wants to play out from the back.
Tony Pulis had a pissing style. You don't want it, though,
exactly,
do you?
Like, well, yeah. I mean, my Arteta might want it at the moment. It got him out of relegation.
That's good, true.
But United have a style. He was saying they play 4-2-3-1. At weekend, I think they said they played Pogba out wide. Pogba was the wide left sort of player in that formation, because you saw him getting forward a lot more than he would have usually done if he was playing deeper. And he's saying, like, 18 games this season, we have played 4-2-3-1. I did the maths there. You didn't have to say 15 times 24 that time. But, yeah, it's a clear style, and you see what he wants to play. He wants to try and take pressure and attack. And I feel like the problem with United is what we've seen recently is we've gone into games and we'll be like, yeah, we'll let him play for 10 minutes and we'll let him draw him in, and then we'll counter and we'll start playing football and everything. Problem is, against PSG and Leipzig was we got battered within 10 minutes. Leipzig especially, they were like, 90 seconds. There you go. And we're like, okay, what do we do now? Okay, concede another one. That's great. Now we'll start playing football. And it works in a certain way, but I feel like you have to rely a lot on defensive consistency and not making those classic United mistakes where...
I don't think the formation things are necessarily a bad thing. I think it's good to have other formations that you can pivot onto. And we pivoted onto it against Leipzig, and I thought it was probably a good move. And I was wrong on that, and Ollie was wrong on that, because Leipzig played a totally different system to how we've normally seen them. It would have been the right move against Manchester City, I thought, even though they ended up being pretty toothless anyway. But you can't just... Because a formation does or doesn't work against one team doesn't mean that that's the formation that you go to in every single match. Matches change. Yeah. They change all the time, and the opposition change. And Barcelona played a 4-3-3 and so did Stoke. You can't tell me it's the same.
Yeah, no, it comes to the players on the pitch, because, like you just said, Stoke played 4-3-3, took some of Barcelona's players with Ibrahim Alfai and stuff like that. But, like, Barcelona, it's like, yeah, you can put, like people say Ferguson didn't have tactics. Yes, some of Ferguson's situations were... Some of Ferguson's games was like, here's autopilot, just Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez, Berbatov.
This is the thing about... I've said this a few times and everyone loses their mind about it because they can't handle the truth.